In this video, I want to explain how to fire events with PixelYourSite. If you do Facebook ads or Google ads or Pinterest ads, anything, you know how important events are. And I'm not talking about a nice party with all your friends. I'm talking a small piece of code that you send to Facebook or Google telling you that something important happens on your website. This is an event. And once you fire that event, you can use it in various ways. For example, on Facebook, you can create custom conversions and measure your ad results or optimize your ad results, or custom audiences and target those audiences with your ads or exclude those audiences when you create ads. On Google Analytics, you can create goals or conversions, so you can measure that particular activity on your website. On Google Ads, you can create audiences or conversions. On Pinterest, you can create audiences. So events are something that you definitely must use. Now, PixelYourSite automatically fires a number of events, but it's also possible that you want to fire your own events, tracking a particular action that we don't track by default. How can you do this is very simple. I will show you each and every step. But before you you start to create your own events with PixelYourSite, I think you should go to your website first, perform the desired action that you want to track with an event, and check if there is an event already. If there is one, fire for that action, check the event parameters, because they might help you to identify that action and create custom audiences, custom conversion, and so on from that event that we fired automatically. So maybe there is no need to bother with a new event. But if you really need to fire your own event, it's really simple, and let's see what you need to do. Okay, so this is PixelYourSite Professional. I'm using PixelYourSite Professional, so I have all the available triggers for events, and I also have something called the Super Pack, which enables me to track some dynamic values as parameters. If you have PixelYourSite free, the free version of our plugin, you will have fewer triggers available. But the events page is right here. Click on this link, and I will use Facebook events as an example because they are easier to explain and to show using Pixel Helper. But the things are similar for Google or for Pinterest or for Bing. And I will try to fire various events tracking different actions on this demo website. Okay, let's start by adding a new event. Okay. You should give this event a name, and the name is visible only to you. So just something descriptive. For me, it will be page URL contains, because this is the trigger that I will use for this event. So when you create the event, you have various triggers right here. Page visit, click on HTML links, click on CSS Selector, mouse over CSS Selector, page scroll, and post type. I will explain every single type of trigger, and I will show you how it works, how they work, and what you need to do. Okay, so let's say I want to fire an event on this particular page, which is this URL right here. I will use URL contains, actually no, I will use URL match, meaning that the event will fire when the URL is this exact URL. So not an event, not a URL containing some keywords, but this exact URL. And let's change the name of the event here, because it makes more sense to call it like this. Now, I can use a delay in seconds. So if I want the event to fire after a number of seconds, I can simply, let's say, add 5 seconds here. I have this option to fire this event only once in 24 hours, meaning that if the same person for some reason fires the same event, in this case refreshes or revisits the same page, the same URL, the event will not fire. But I will not enable this option. Actually, you should enable this option if you want to use that event as a conversion, because it will avoid duplications. Okay, I can add another URL, but I don't need to do it. And now I have a trigger ready. What I want to do is configure the event. And I can send this event to Facebook, to Google Analytics, to Google Ads, to Pinterest, and I don't have the Bing add-on installed here, but I can also send it to Bing. I will send it to Facebook. And you have a list with Facebook standard events, or you can create a custom event. I will create a custom event and I will use the same name as here. Now, I can also add parameters, but I don't want to do this right now. So let's see how it works if we have this event fired. I don't have such an event here. If I refresh the page, here it is. That's my new event, fire on this URL only, because if I go on a different page of the website, I won't have it. Okay, it's not here. Now, the event already has a number of parameters that a PixelYourSite ad automatically adds to each event. So you have page title, user role, event URL, event time, which is the visitor's browser's time, plugin, event day, landing page, which was it tracks my landing page, the page that I landed the first time when I visited the website, post type, post ID, month, and traffic source, in my case direct. Okay, if I want to add more, I can add more parameters. Now let's fire a new event. This time we will have an event for every page of the website. How can I do this? Very, very easy. I use let's call this event all pages. I use URL contains instead of URL match, and I will add this keyword, which is basically the website's name. Again, I will enable this event on Facebook. I will select custom event and let's give this name. Okay, let's use a delay this time, like 3 seconds, and fire this event only once in 24 hours. So just to see how it works. Now, I will see this event on every page of the website because the keyword it's present on every URL. Let's say I go here on shop and let's wait a bit. Now the event is fired. So I had to wait a few seconds because there was a delay, but after that the event was fired as configured. If I visit or if I simply refresh the page, I will not have the event again because it's not supposed to fire for me multiple times in 24 hours. And in fact, the event doesn't work. You can see it here, but no information is sent to Facebook at all. So the code is still present on the page, but it doesn't really work. It doesn't send any information to Facebook. Okay, let's do something else. Let's fire an event when I click on this link right here. How can I do this? I copy the URL, the link address, and I will use it as a trigger for a new event. I select this trigger and paste the URL, the link. Configure the event for Facebook. Let's use this name right here. And that will be it. Okay. Now I refresh the page. And now here it is. Easily I have an event fired when I click on this link. Now let's fire an event when I click on this button. In this case I need to use a CSS selector. And how can I see the CSS selectors for this element? I can simply go to inspect, and here you can see what classes or IDs this element has. These are the classes that this button has. I can use them, but it's possible that another button will have similar classes. So what I want to do, I want to add a specific ID or class just to this button. This is an extra step, you don't really need it in most cases, but I will just show you how you can do it. It depends how this button is implemented. In my case, it's just a simple Elementor button, so I will edit this page with Elementor. Again, it might vary depending on how your web page is created, but almost any editor has this capability to add classes or IDs. Okay, so I can add a button ID right here. Okay. This will be my ID. Update. And now when I refresh the page and I inspect the element again, I should see the ID that I just added. So I can use this ID as my event trigger. Okay, CSS Selector. For IDs, I have to add this in front, and this is it. Custom event. This will be the name. And now save, and we should have the event fired on that button. Okay. Let's see if it works. It does. So this is the event that I just created. Now, a similar thing you can do for forms. You can simply identify the forms button classes or IDs and fire an event. Let's do this. Let's do this. Again, I will add an ID using Elementor. Oh, I already have an ID here. Okay, no need to add a new one. So the process is absolutely identical. Enable on Facebook. And save. Refresh the page. And now, if I send this form. I have an event fire, which is this one right here. Very easy, right? Now, let's fire an event when I've moved my mouse over this image right here. How can I do it? Again, I will use a dedicated trigger and some classes or IDs that this image has. If it doesn't have, I can use the default classes or events or IDs, or I can add mine. I prefer to add mine. It's always a better idea because you are 100% sure that only that element is tracked and not something else with similar classes or IDs. I hope it's easy to add one. I think yes. Okay. Save. And my new event. Mouse over. Save. And refresh. Now, when I move my mouse, I should have an event right here. And yes, I do. So it was very easy. Okay. I also have another 2 triggers, if I'm not wrong, maybe 1. Let's see. So I had this. Okay. 2 more triggers. Page scroll. Let's say 50%. So this is the percent that I have to scroll to trigger the event. I can say fire this event on this URL only. Right here on this URL only. But in my case, I want to fire the event on every page of the website. Again, custom event. Scroll 50. Save. Now let's see. I refresh the page. Let's see if the scroll event fires when I scroll the page. Yes, it does. Very simple. And the last trigger I want to show you is post type. Basically, I can fire this event when a particular WordPress post type is visited. So it can be a post, it can be a page, it can be a product, it can be a download, it can be any custom post type that you have. Let's see what post types I have on this website. Post type, a lot of post types. Let's fire this event on pages. Okay, pages, very easy. And page, custom post type, page. This is a page, so it should fire the event if I refresh it. And it does. But if I go on a product, for example, a product should not fire the event because it's a different post type. So that event should not be here. And it isn't. Okay, it's not here. So it works as it should. So now I have all these events. All of them are sent to Facebook only. I can send them to other tags if I have them installed. Let's just open an event. If I want to send this event to Google, I can simply enable Google and configure the event in the same way. I can add parameters if I want. I can send the event to Google Ads. For Google Ads, you can transform this event into a conversion. When you create a conversion on Google Ads, they give you something called a conversion label. You just add that label here, and the event will become a conversion. So this is how you can create custom conversions on for Google Ads with PixelYourSite. Configure the event, target the action that you want to track as a conversion, and add the label right here. Once you do so, Google Ads will know that this is a conversion, and you will see them reported for your ads. So this is how you can fire events with PixelYourSite. It's very easy. Use the appropriate trigger, track the action, configure the event, and once you send it to Facebook, Google, Pinterest, you can use that event as you wish. If it's a standard event for Facebook, you can use it directly to optimize your ads, for example. If it's a custom event, which basically means a name that is not on the standard event list, for Facebook, you need to create a custom conversion first before you can use that event for ads optimization as an ad objective. We also need to add the event or the custom conversion on under aggregated event measurement. So that's an extra step. So this is it. This is how you can fire events using PixelYourSite.